Hi, this is Zach Mayer with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 25th of September. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which seems to be nestled well with at the floor of that rising trend channel from this time last year. 82.30, the nominal level there, and also the 50-day moving average around that zone as well. That's the blue line there, still rising. Initial resistance here, 83.60 above that. We're looking for the top of the channel there, 86.70 as soon as the end of the next month, but obviously with the budget coming in, it's difficult to know how that would happen. If we do break down below 82.20, we've got the floor of that red May falling trend channel and the 200-day moving average around the 8,000 level. Moving along to the DAX, and here we've got a situation where we've been toying with the highs, just near 19,000. Bit of a gap fill move here at the moment, but at least while we're above recent swing support, 18,700, looking for the market to progress to the top of that channel there at 20,000 by the end of next month. Floor of the channel around 18,400, and that's also leveled with the 50-day moving average. RSI at 57, so in a good place for further gains. Moving on to the Dow, and it's on the right side of 42,000, which is obviously a bonus. Looking for the top of the channel there from this time last year, as high as 43,000 over the next few weeks, maybe by the end of next month, giving this market a bit of time. On the downside, hoping that nothing lower than 41,500, basically the old July-August resistance and mid-September support, will come into play and stem any losses. Worst case is that we have to test the 50-day line at 40,600 one more time, as we've done several times since June and beforehand. Moving on to Bitcoin, which has been frustrating. At least we're on the right side of 60,000, but trading either side of that 200-day moving average there at 63,800. Looking for the top of that falling trend channel from February around 68,000, which has been a block, that line there, for so long. On the downside, hopefully support coming in at the 50-day line or above the 50-day line, now rising at 59,500. On to gold, which continues to be the star of the show, and here we've actually basically hit at the top of that rising trend channel from back in December. 26.90 is what we were looking for. In fact, the high 26.89.4, so nobody's perfect there, but almost perfect in terms of hitting that line. And the prediction, we were looking for that to be hit by the end of this month, and obviously we've managed to do that ahead of schedule. On the downside, support hopefully coming in at 26.20 or above, and maybe we'll think about what the next target is above 26.90 when we get an end-of-day close above it, if we get an end-of-day close above it. Moving on to the stocks and some interesting situations, a few old names coming back. First one is Cobra, where the 50-day line is starting to rise, and we already had a gap higher last month, so it's a bear trap gap reversal in a way, and above that 50-day line at 0.94, looking for the top of the channel there, or the top of the triangle there, as high as 1.4 pence by the end of next month, but expecting the shares to move well. Bounces off RSI 50 as well, helping that situation look better than it has for a while. On to ECR Minerals, which hopefully will appear in a second. And here, got the hope that we've hit the bottom of the range there. We've had some news today about drilling, forthcoming drilling, but bouncing off the floor of that falling trend channel from February, 0.22, and looking for an initial move up to the high 20s there. Obviously the top of the channel there, 0.32, which would be maybe the best case scenario target for the end of next month. Got a bit of bullish divergence in there as well, so lower lows just to start this week, but higher RSI trace, so that is a positive as well. You can see electric guitar trying very hard to rehabilitate itself after the rather soggy start to its life on the market. Today has seen a decent move, good reaction to the news. Maybe the market's finally understanding what first-party data actually is. We did say or note that the stock had gapped up off the low at the start of the week, and that there was bullish divergence, so that did actually forecast the move up today. And looking for 1 penny, which is the top of that triangle there from July, over the next, hopefully, week or two, or even sooner. The big prize would be, if we can really get off the ground, but a return to the 200-day moving average area in the initial support there, 1.5 to 1.6 pence, but let's not get too excited given that we had a big up day at the end of July and then came back after that. Upside value while we hold above. Post-August resistance at 0.75 on an end-of-day close basis. Good to see the following stock going up. A lot of people like Fab, if only for the Epic code, but here we broke a line of resistance there basically last week, and we also had an unfilled gap, bear trap gap reversal, which was actually a great signal off the lows at the beginning of September, the first week, so that was actually there. And currently we've hit the first target there, which is 4.6 pence. Above that on an end-of-day close basis, looking for up to 7 pence by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay above the old May resistance there at 4 pence. So above 4, looking for 7, basically, on fusion antibodies. On to Helium 1, which has had a bit of a dance either side of the 1 pence level, and also in the region of the last fundraise, which was at 1.09 from memory. Today we're actually trading around that range as well. So it looks as though hopefully most people who wanted to get out of the stock at break even have done so. And also slightly better result in terms of the downside. We bounced above the old July support there around 0.75. So that looks rather good. In terms of what happens next, above a penny, really looking for the 50-day moving average area up to 1.3 pence, hopefully over the next few weeks, maybe by the end of next month at the latest. Only back below the 0.75 level really questions the recovery there. On to Itim, and here, rather more simple situation, rising trend channel, gap to the upside yesterday and looking for 60 pence while we're above the top of the gap at 37 pence. On to Petrofac, which we haven't looked at for a while, but this looks as though it's rehabilitating as well. We're back above the 200-day moving average for the first time since basically this time last year, which is obviously significant from a technical point of view. We've got a rising trend channel base as well, and above that 200-day line at 20 pence, looking for up to 32 pence by the end of next month, although it's difficult to see maybe what fundamentals would help it do that. Upside valued, at least while we're above 2-day support at 18 pence. Next up is Ovoca, which is currently the top riser of the day, and the shares were sort of bear trapped off the low basically for today, and basically bear trapped below 0.74, which was the August support, but we were looking for the shares to go higher, and the initial target was 1.7, second target 2.2, looking for 2.2 while we're above the 1.4 pence May resistance level. So let's see if Ovoca can stay above that zone. Maybe you have to allow down to 1.2, but a decent turnaround there. Moving on to another stock which hasn't been around for a while, which is Pensana, and here you can see that we've really made a decent turn. I think we covered the shares a few days ago, but whatever the case is, we broke above the 50-day line there at 15.5 pence. The initial target there, the 200-day line at 22, and now looking for up to 34 pence by the end of next month. It looks as though something positive is happening there, presumably on the funding front. Another stock where there's a bit of sizzle at the moment is Rome Resources, where it's all over Twitter that the seller's out, which is good to know. Presumably the seller was keen on selling Rome Resources right at the low, but we bounced a bit, and the first stage of recovery here would be to get back above the August support there, 0.265, and then break up above that resistance line there from July, and the 50-day line at 0.28. So 0.26 to 0.28, the crucial area there for recovery after the alleged seller's departure. Moving on to Sabien, and line break there from back in March, above the 50-day line at 8.5, and looking for up to the 200-day line at 10.5 pence over the next week or so, ideally up to 12 pence by the end of next month, which is or was the old June resistance. Next up is Shield, and here you can see that we bounced off the 200-day line, gapped up in fact, so it means we're looking quite strongly now for the old support there around 6 pence, hopefully by the end of next month, while we remain above 3.5 pence and that 200-day line. On to the last two. First one is Trellus, and here you can see that we managed to bounce within a rising trend channel base, break above the 50-day line, and looking for 2.2 pence by the end of next month, while we remain above resistance on the way down around 1.25 and the old May support there at that level. Finishing off with Tekcapital, which continues to be surprisingly unpopular despite all its efforts in terms of Microsalt, etc. We've broken a line of resistance there, so it looks as though there is a bit of a turning point here. Bear trap, rebound from below the December support and looking for up to 8.8 pence by the end of next month, hopefully a bit sooner than that, while we're above recent neckline resistance at 6.5 pence. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.